So next up, we have Yaron Vorona. Yaron is a founder of Deep Defense, the cybersecurity protocol. Their mission is to make the world more secure using exponential technologies. Yaron is also a CEO of IOTA Security, a mobile security company using AI. Previously, he led policy discussions in a think tank focused on global security issues. He has lived in Asia, born in the Caribbean, as I've had a short discussion with him before this, and he's lived in Europe and the Middle East, as well as North America. He's worked in the financial services and electronics manufacturing. Please help me welcome Yaron Vorona on stage. Thank you. Thanks a lot. The stage is yours.
Thanks so much, everyone. As I was starting to think about the use cases for artificial intelligence and blockchain in the business case, I thought back to my first introduction to artificial intelligence. And I started to think about how we started to ideate on different ways you can use AI. And we thought anything plus AI, you attach some sensors, some internet connectivity, and some artificial intelligence, and you've got something awesome. And you can use a thought experiment, take a chair, add some sensors, add some AI, you've got a useful product. A spoon, sensors, AI, you've got a useful product. And some of these are more or less useful, but you can really add AI to everything, and you can make it help you make decisions. You can take the advantages of AI, of reaching speed, of making decisions, scale, making millions of decisions in the time it would take a human to make a few. Impartiality, you can remove bias, and I included this picture of Dr. Stephen Hawking. May he rest in peace. He was fearful of artificial intelligence. He warned about artificial intelligence, and yet artificial intelligence was a part of his daily life for him to get around the world and communicate his brilliant ideas. And so we can use artificial intelligence to increase inclusion of people who may otherwise be excluded from our society, are now able to participate. Now, that same idea of adding AI to anything and making it awesome cannot be said for blockchain. Not everything needs a blockchain. This is one version of slides that have been posted around about a decision-making structure of whether you need a blockchain in order to do what you need to do. What I found really interesting about this particular flowchart was that little logo on the bottom left-hand side. It was put out by the Department of Homeland Security. So we're getting serious here about the decision-making processes. Now, using AI in order to make things awesome and using blockchain, we have to think about the security side of things. A blockchain is only as secure as its weakest link. Now, if we think about the definition of a blockchain, we've got this idea of a distributed ledger, peer-to-peer networking. Ultimately, what you have both in AI and blockchain are computers interacting with the physical world, interacting with themselves. And that's where we need to start to think about security. Historically, when it came to critical resources, whether it's natural resources, and as was said prior, I was working on global security issues and policy issues at a think tank in Washington, D.C. And we thought about how governments can help to protect critical infrastructure, energy supplies, critical resources. But when it comes to this distributed, decentralized world, there's a problem that governments don't really like it so much. It's taking power away from them. And so we have to look at ourselves to secure ourselves and secure our futures and not rely on a trusted third party like a government or large corporations. When we think about cybersecurity, usually the introduction is to talk about the CIA triad, which you see on the left-hand side. It's a balance of confidentiality of information. Can you keep it private? Integrity of that information. Will it be modified by anybody? And accessibility of that information. Can it be accessed by the right people at the right times? Well, attacks are emerging against confidentiality. In the crypto space, there are fake wallets out there that will capture your private keys. There are banking trojans that will take your login credentials and use them for nefarious purposes. In the IoT space, in the AI space, people are hacking into devices in order to steal the sensitive information. And that hack, by the way, in 2014 was what really brought me into the cybersecurity world. As a new dad, I knew that it was my mission to protect my children. And so that's when I founded IOTA Security, no relation to the foundation. We started to really work on trying to make the world more secure. When we think about integrity, you can substitute the address in a computer. If you copy and paste, you want to send some crypto from one person to another, you copy that really, really long random digit hash, you paste it in, that can be replaced. That's a violation of the integrity of the data. Data can be corrupted using ransomware, which is also an accessibility. Ultimately, any computer can be taken over and the integrity can be destroyed. These computers are used for exchanges, for mining, for running nodes. This image was taken by Krebs on Security. Brian Krebs is a well-known cybersecurity journalist, looking at all of the different ways that a hacker can use your computer once he takes it over. Attacks against availability, again an IoT attack. In 2016, the Mirai attack took over internet-connected IP cameras and created the largest distributed denial of service attack in history that brought down most of the internet for most of the United States. Similarly, you can get malicious Android applications now that will use your phone to mine for Monero and other cryptocurrencies, and it will actually burn your phone up. So what can you do? Ultimately, cybersecurity starts and ends as a people problem. You can throw technological solutions at it, and we're trying to do that, but ultimately it's a people problem, and we need to properly align incentives. So first, educate yourself. There's a great resource called cybrary.it. It contains videos of all the cybersecurity courses that you could want to take. Really useful resource there. Constantly patch and update your operating systems, please. Change your username and password for different websites. Using a password manager can really help that. Make sure you have anti-malware running on all of your devices. Your mobiles are devices too. You should have antivirus on those. And when you build projects, either in the AI space or in the blockchain space, start with security by design. And that's what we're doing with the Deep Defense project. We're building a new cybersecurity economy where every smart device is secured by other smart devices using a scalable distributed intelligence infrastructure, which means that if you want to take over one, you have to take over the next and the next and the next. We're also redesigning a cybersecurity economy that will make sure that everyone has carefully aligned incentives. We're doing this with a bold roadmap starting with existing technology today in the mobile space and moving out to build a protocol that will protect everything. Thanks so much. I think I may have time for one question. Great. Everybody feels more secure. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thanks so much, Yaron.
Appreciate it.
Great having you up on stage. Really interesting topic.